The top 10 most mysterious mysteries. Number 10. Jimmy Hoffa's body. Hoffa was a teamster union leader. He was a young union activist who eventually became invested in organized crime. Hoffa was convicted of bribery, jury tampering, and fraud. Hoffa was then sentenced to 13 years in jail. He eventually vanished in 1975 within Detroit. It is unknown who killed him and where his body is. There are many theories on what happened to him. Number 9. Who is Jack the Ripper? Jack the Ripper was a serial killer in the 1800s. Jack mutilated at least 5 women. Jack supposedly sent letters to the British police taunting their efforts to find him. The name Jack the Ripper comes from these letters. Over 100 men have been accused of being the Ripper. A woman named Lizzie Williams has also been accused of being him. Number 8. Who is JFKs Reaper? John F. Kennedy was a U.S. president and was shot on November 22nd in 1963 within Dallas, Texas. It is said that Kennedy was shot by a man named Lee Oswald. Before Oswald could attend his trial, he was shot by a man named Jack Ruby. Ruby claims that he did not want Jacqueline Kennedy to see Oswald. Many historians still speculate that this is not how John F. Kennedy really died. Number 7. The location of Cleopatras Tomb. Cleopatra is said to have been buried with her lover Mark Antony in 30 BC according to ancient writers. According to the writer Plutarch, who lived about 100 years after her death, Cleopatra is buried next to the Temple of Isis. To this day, her tomb's location is unknown. In 2010, Egypt's antiquities manager excavated the area around the city of Alexandria, and Cleopatra's tomb was not found. Number 6. Oak Island's Money Pit. It is said that Captain William Kidd left a pile of money on Oak Island. Oak Island is an island just off the coast of Nova Scotia within Canada. The hole was excavated, but all that was found were rotting timbers. People still speculate that perhaps if they dug 10 feet more, that a treasure may be found. The story of the money pit still floats around to this day. Number 5. The Copper Scroll Treasure. An archaeologist found a copper scroll in 1952 in Qumran. The scroll is a record of a mass amount of gold and silver treasure. The scroll dates back to the time when the area was controlled by the Roman Empire. Perhaps the natives of this area were trying to hide the treasure from the Romans. Today it is unclear whether the treasure really exists or not. Number 4. The fate of the Ark of Covenant. When Babylonian King Nebuchadnezzar II invaded Jerusalem in 587 BC, he destroyed the first temple. The first temple contained the Ark of Covenant, which contained the 10 Commandments. The Ark may have been stolen to Babylon, or maybe it just disappeared. There are many stories on where the Ark has gone, but all we know is that it existed. Number 3. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Ancient writers have described an amazing garden within the city of Babylon. They called it the wonder of the world. This garden has no archaeological proof of ever existing. Despite this, a writer around 250 BC, Philo of Byzantium, wrote that the Hanging Gardens had the plants cultivated at a height above ground level, and the roots, the trees, are embedded in an upper terrace rather than the earth. It is unlikely that this mystery will ever be solved. Number 2. The Story of Atlantis. Atlantis was described by the Greek philosopher Plato. Atlantis was to have existed within the Atlantic Ocean. It's said that the Atlanteans conquered Africa and Europe. While Atlantis likely does not exist, there may be truth behind the story. Atlantis is most likely the island of Crete, where the Minoans lived before contacting the Mycenaeans. It is still unclear where the story originates from. Number 1. What Jesus really looked like. Biblical scholars are always facing challenges on what is true and what is not. Some of these being what Jesus really looked like, what things actually happened, where Jesus grew up, etc. Despite being the largest religion in the world, the roots of the Bible are unknown and may forever be unknown.